Hey guys. So today I wanted to talk about what I call proud prospecting. What is that? So I'm in the car right now. I'm out in the field. I know that field prospecting is not for every sales job. I'm I'm very hybrid. I'm in the local market, but I have clients that are out of state. So those guys, I may visit them on a special visit where I travel. But in my own backyard, in the local market, I do have a territory there. So I'm in the field quite a bit, actually. So I figured I would make a video to talk about like how I approached field prospecting. I'm going to do a separate one upcoming. I've already recorded it for phone prospecting. So with all the gurus out here micromanaging people's talk tracks, like telling you not to say things like, hey, how are you today? Which I think is absurd. They're basically making you not be a normal human being, which prospects can easily detect. So in any case, before I get to on a tangent here, let me go through my process for field prospecting and doing what people refer to as door knocking. I'm B2B, so I'm not knocking on homeowners' doors. By the way, I would never want to do any kind of B2C homeowner type sales. I know that's a good industry, but people's homes are very emotional. I just like to be in the B2B space. Let's leave it at that. Working with businesses, okay? So in any case, all right. So how do I know where to go and who to talk to and what kind of businesses to target? So as you can imagine, before I get in the car and end up in front of a building that I'm going to walk into, I've done quite a bit of research. I'd say I spend, let's call it an hour altogether of building a route. What I do is build out a route I try to have 15 targets or more on my route, because I know I'm going to not hit some of them. Some of these people or businesses are going to be closed, or things happen when you go in the field. Actually, a lot of really good things that are unexpected happen in the field, and that's why I love it, and I want to share this with you. So first, my goal is to sit down at my office, go online, look at various sources of leads. I have an access to Zoom info, other tools where I can create this list. And so I use those tools. I use my own leads. Some of the people I drop in on are people I've tried to call or get a hold of that I just haven't been able to. So I use the walk-in as a kind of a more aggressive way to either get them to meet with me or tell me to go pound sand, which, by the way, has like never happened with doing door knocking with me. So whatever fear you have of that, I'm going to try to help you overcome that right now. So build my list. And then I'll do the second wave of research on that after I have the base 15 to 20 stops for my route. I try to keep them in a concentrated area. I'm in greater Philadelphia. I don't need to be driving across town, north to south to go from one to another. So you can actually use some AI tools, ChatGPT, and maybe some other AI tools like Bard to just toss in your list sorted or filtered and have it geographically lay that list out for you so that your stops are in a logical progression. Even if you want to make it like a circle, you may end up with a long drive back home, but you're hitting efficient stops across your area. And so that's huge. Being super efficient when you're in the field. The field can waste your time and blow up your whole day if it's not really expertly planned out. So this planning that I'm talking about, I'm spending time in this video on for a reason. You don't want to go out willy-nilly, basically. And so you've got your list. The secondary research for me is like, if it's cold and I don't know anything about the business, I need to know a little bit about the business. Not a ton. I don't spend forever doing research on a prospect that I've never talked to. My first goal is to secure a discovery meeting, right? So then we can get in, then I'm going to spend a lot of time pre-researching for that discovery. So this is all prospecting before we even get there. So I want to know who the decision maker is. I love looking at the About Us page on a business's website. If it's done right, it's going to tell you a lot about the people behind the business, why they started it, what they do, what they're best at, what they like doing, and what they enjoy. So I like to be armed with that knowledge before I go walk in. Okay, so what do I do? I've got my list. Now, I'm at a stop here right now. So what's my approach when I go into the business? I used to think that I wanted to show up looking like a total badass, and that was a mistake. I would want to have like a coat on, and sometimes I still do a coat. I don't wear a tie at all, period, any longer. I have this little thing, digital marketers shouldn't wear ties. If somebody's selling you digital marketing with a tie on, I don't know, I might have a little bit of caution there. That's my personal preference. This isn't IBM. I'm not selling newspaper ads in the 1980s. Just my thought. I try to be as low pressure and less as non-threatening as I can. That's my big philosophy when I do walk-ins on the actual approach. So, I'm dressed pretty much business casual. I don't want to scream salesperson. That's what I'm trying to say here. Back in the day, I would want to look it with the tie and the suit and like the portfolio bag over my shoulder, the leather bag with my computer in it or whatever, look like a total badass, like a total pro. I find that puts up a wall that shouldn't be there for you instantly. So you're walking into, a law office or a medical office, which are the types of clients I call on, or a roofing contractor, especially those in home improvement construction. You come in looking like a pharmaceutical sales rep in those offices, you're not going to get very far. They're not going to take you that seriously. And I'm making general statements, which I don't like doing, but these are my general principles and observations. So non-threatening look and appearance, meaning really, I may come in with my business card in my pocket. So as far as the receptionist or the gatekeeper knows, I might be one of their customers or clients, right? So they have no reason to put up a wall just based on seeing me, okay? I try to make my vibe, this is gonna sound silly, but I try to make my vibe really casual and curious. Kind of like people talk about Columbo, the old detective show where he was just kind of like poking around, not really that intense, So you're doing something that can elicit a hardcore rejection. You need to know that. So the softer your approach, the better. And then finally, to wrap up, how I do this is I know going in, I'm not trying to close a sale on the spot. That's not going to happen. I know what I'm doing is I'm out giving out information, which can just be my business card. That's my reason for stopping by. The other one is to find out who I would talk to about my solutions at a later date. So this takes the pressure way down. It's the truth. Those no soliciting signs you see, I'm not really soliciting, so I don't worry about those. I'm just fact finding and looking for information. And so that usually goes really well. And if I am lucky, I will, this is what I call the magic can happen. You get to the decision maker on the spot and you can have a pre-discovery right there, or just talk to them and build rapport. So that's my approach. So I don't walk in with any materials. I may walk in with like a flyer or collateral, but I don't make that a big presentation so that it looks like, I'm there to sell something. I'm there to do them a favor and inform them about some very innovative and sophisticated marketing tools that can help their business be more profitable. That's it. And that's the truth. I'm not just saying that, to try to soften up the sales work that I'm doing. But this is sales. This is work. This is physical work. It's demanding. So I know it's not for everybody, but I happen to enjoy it. It gets me out of the house. I went through the pandemic like everyone else and felt like I was a caged animal, quite frankly. So the fact that things have opened up and I can now get in person and meet with people is a big deal for me. And I'll be 100% honest with you. I have brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars over a lifetime by doing this exact method here, which is in-person prospecting. So I'll write an article probably around this, but I want to capture it in video. I'm really here at the business. Forgive my trees. I have an issue with tree car air freshener trees, but you can see the office building. I try to keep what I do private in terms of my clients and prospects, so I don't want to share any specifics, but I'm about to head on in there. And one thing too is the principle of adjacency. So I do have they're not even a client, but it's a prospect that I have had a good relationship with. They actually used to be my client at a different job I had. So I'm bringing them a Christmas gift because it is the holidays. And what I'm doing is employing the principle of adjacency here in sales, meaning I had one target client to go see, but I know that there's probably 10 other prospects that are good fit in between these two office buildings. All right. So whenever you're in office buildings, office complexes, strip malls, don't just think about the client that you're going to see, the target. This is another form of the magic. It's those unplanned cold calls. I did one back in September that became a client within a couple of weeks. They weren't even on my radar. I saw them and on the fly stopped and introduced myself, and they became a client. So I think what I'm doing here is really valuable, and if you can learn to do it really well and in an organized, strategic fashion, can help you be so successful. And I call it proud prospecting for all those reasons I just went through. I'm not being super salesy. I'm not trying to get a commitment on the spot. If they're like, hey, get out of our office, we're too busy, then leave. Like, let's not make this more difficult than it is. Don't try to be a sales hero and overcome the receptionist's objection of you interrupting her busy work. They're not going to like you. Like, I don't know a sales guy out there. Maybe there's one that can overcome that kind of objection, right? So that's where the pride comes in. So I can walk in here with pride as a professional. And this is really what Proud to Sell is all about. So, all right, I'm going to go hit these and be proud. Thanks.